In this video, we'll train TJBot to translate a message from English to Spanish with the Watson Language Translator service. In the Node-RED editor, drag an inject node from the palette onto the canvas. Double-click on the inject node and set the payload to the string value of hello. Drag a translate node from the palette onto the canvas. Double-click on the translate node to configure it. The Translate node uses a Watson Language Translator service. First, we need to get these service credentials from IBM Bluemix before we can use the Translate node. Click on the icon next to the Language Translator heading. I'm already signed into my IBM Bluemix account. Create your IBM Bluemix account at bluemix.net. Click on Create. Each Watson service has separate service credentials. Click on Service Credentials in the menu on the left. Click on View Credentials to display the credentials. Copy the username and password into the input boxes under the Language Translator section. The Translate node has several modes: identifying the language as a content, checking if the Watson service can translate from one language to another, and translating content from one language to another. Select Translate from the Mode drop-down menu. TJBot can translate from a number of languages, thanks to IBM Watson. Select the English option from the drop-down menu labeled From. We'll translate the greeting to Spanish. Select Spanish in the drop-down menu labeled To. Drag a debug node from the palette onto the canvas. Double-click on the node and change the output to message.response. Connect the nodes together. Click on the Deploy button in the top right corner of the Node-RED editor. Run the flow by clicking on the tab on the left side of the inject node. TJBot translates a greeting and outputs a result in the debug window. Let's modify the debug node to dive into the response and output just the translation. Double-click on the debug node and change the output to message.response.translations index0.translation. Click on the Deploy button in the top right corner of the Node-RED editor. Run the flow again by clicking on the tab of the inject node. TJBot translates a greeting and displays it in the debug window.